Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Amy Fisher, and I'm the General Counsel of the Port Authority, and I'm this morning's hearing officer. With me, to my right, is Chairman of the Board, Kevin O'Toole, and to my left is Commissioner Gary LaBarbera. They serve on the Board of Commissioners, which is the agency's governing body. We are holding this hearing for public comment because the Port Authority is considering the proposed capital plan for 2026 to 2035, its proposed 2026 budget, as well as proposed changes in tolls and fares for the use of our vehicular tunnels and bridges, passenger rail facilities, and changes to the airport ground transportation access fees and our bus terminal fees. We've prepared materials to assist in explaining these proposals, including a written handout, which can be found at the entrance to the hearing room. We will also shortly show a presentation describing the proposals. If there is something in the presentation you'd like to hear again, it can also be accessed on the Port Authority's website at panyj.gov/public hearings, one word. The hearings will begin shortly after this presentation.
Founded more than a century ago, the Port Authority's mission is to keep the region moving. With a broad array of assets across the region, from airports to seaports, the PATH train, our bridges and tunnels, and the World Trade Center campus, the Port Authority is committed to keeping the region moving. Today, we'll review the Port Authority's proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan, which builds on the strong momentum set in the previous capital plan to deliver the next generation of best-in-class infrastructure that will continue to advance the region. The Port Authority is financially self-sustaining. It receives no funding from either state and relies on raising the needed funds to construct, operate, and improve its facilities. The past 5 years have presented unique challenges to the Port Authority's operating environment, including revenue impacts from the COVID-19 pandemic, macroeconomic trends including inflation and tariffs, and rising interest rates. Despite these headwinds, the Port Authority drove the ambitious 2017 to 2025 capital plan forward to deliver transformative infrastructure projects across the region, including delivering key aspects of the transformation of the region's 3 major airports, including best-in-class facilities like the new LaGuardia and a new Terminal A at Newark. Rebuilding of the Goethals Bridge and advancing the $11 billion Midtown bus terminal replacement. Critical projects, including the raising of the Bayonne Bridge to increase the capacity of cargo movement at the seaport. Infrastructure investments and expanded capacity across the PATH system, and revitalization of the World Trade Center complex. It was a decade of achievement, but we're not done yet. The Port Authority has proposed an ambitious $45 billion capital plan that continues this unprecedented rebuilding program while maintaining our world-class standard and creating economic opportunity for the region. The 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes $20 billion in spending across the airports, including the completion of an unprecedented transformation at JFK, including major terminals and brand new airtrain cars and stations. At Newark Liberty, completing the replacement of the airtrain and delivering an all-new Terminal B to bring every aspect of the airport up to the same world-class standard set by the award-winning Terminal A. And at LGA, replacing the 85-year-old Terminal A and vastly improving Q70 LGA Link bus access to the airport. These transformational projects in the proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan are largely funded by private investments, cost recoveries, lease revenues, and fees, which make up 2/3 of our revenues. To support delivery of these ambitious goals, the capital plan proposes changes to airport access fees for for-hire vehicles and for taxis, which will be aligned with fees at peer airports across the country. The proposed modification would increase access fees for for-hire vehicles from $2.50 for each pickup and drop-off to $5 for each pickup and drop-off, effective March 15, 2026. The proposed modification would also increase airport access fees charged to taxis, which are currently $1.75 per pickup. Pickup fees for taxis would increase by 25 cents on March 15, 2026, with further 25-cent increases for each of the 2 following years. The proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan would drive completion of an $11 billion best-in-class Midtown bus terminal. Completed in 2 phases over the next 10 years, the inspiring, light-filled transit hub of the future will serve the needs of both the commuters and the community. To provide important support for the cost of building, operating, and maintaining this world-class facility, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes updated carrier fees charged to bus companies operating at the Midtown bus terminal. Bus toll structures, which currently group all buses together, would be separated into 3 classes based on vehicle type: minibuses, 2-axle buses, and 3-axle buses. The proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan would also drive $4.4 billion in state of good repair spending to ensure the resiliency of our crossings for another century, including advancing the comprehensive rebuild of the George Washington Bridge, extensive rehabilitations to the Outer Bridge Crossing and Lincoln Tunnel Helix, and planning for the future replacement of these assets in the 2036 to 2045 capital plan period. To support these critical tunnel and bridge investments, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes phasing out the current $2 Easy Pass discount for autos and motorcycles offered during off-peak hours. The phase-out would take place at 50 cents per year, starting in 2027, and last 4 years. The discount program at the Staten Island bridges would remain unchanged. The truck discount at off-peak hours would remain unchanged, and the calculation of the Easy Pass peak rate for autos would remain unchanged. At the PATH commuter rail system, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes more than $2 billion in key investments, including continued restoration of all tracks, installation of state-of-the-art anti-evasion fare gates, and support for major service increases. Under the proposed capital plan, for the first time in 25 years, all 4 PATH lines would operate 7 days a week in 2026 and offer major service increases, a direct response to feedback from the community calling for increased weekend service levels, including late-night service, and increased service during the weekday rush hours. To support these improvements, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes a fare increase of 25 cents beginning in spring 2026, with additional 25-cent increases each January from 2027 through 2029. PATH's operations are unique. The PATH system receives no state or federal funding and subsidizes 75% of each PATH ride. The proposed increase in fares would provide critical funding for the proposed increases to PATH service. The capital plan we have put forward is a transformational, once-in-a-generation proposal. Every dollar in the proposed plan goes back into visible, tangible improvements that make the region and residents' lives better. We have proven, through the completion of the 2017 to 2025 capital plan, that we are capable of delivering major projects for the region. That ambition continues in the proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan. Completing priority initiatives and advancing a new generation of projects that will modernize, strengthen, and expand the agency's infrastructure around the region. In addition to today's public hearing, there are numerous ways for the public to offer their feedback. Comments will be reviewed by the Port Authority Board of Commissioners prior to a final publication and adoption of the proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan.
We are interested in what you have to say today on this plan and whatever else you'd like to raise. Comments today will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The commissioners are here to listen, but there won't be a back and forth conversation today. We have a clock to keep track of things so we know when the 3 minutes elapse, and you will get a warning when you're getting close to the end of your comment time. If you'd like to provide additional comments after this hearing, there are a number of ways to do that, as was mentioned in the video. First, you can go to our website, panyj.gov/public hearings, and make written comments there. You may also mail written comments addressed to Public Hearing Comments, Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, 4 World Trade Center, 23rd floor, New York, New York, 10007. That address is also on our website. And in addition, you may provide comments regarding these matters at the December 18th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting, which will be held at 2 Montgomery Place, Jersey City, New Jersey, scheduled to begin at approximately 1 p.m. All public comments made in any form on the matters described above will be transcribed and also summarized by Port Authority staff and retained by the Port Authority for consideration by the full Board of Commissioners. We will now begin the public hearing portion of this meeting. I would call George Fleckenstein.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is George Fleckenstein, and I'm the director of the Pan Am Museum in Garden City, which is owned by the Pan Am Museum Foundation. When we read a top-to-bottom rebuilding of Terminal A at LaGuardia, we thought, not again. In May 1986, the Port Authority intended to tear down the Marine Air Terminal, and that was averted. Now we hear that a new threat once again to eliminate the historic Marine Air Terminal. The Marine Air Terminal is the most historically significant commercial aviation building in the United States. It's the last surviving, still operating airport terminal dating from the golden age of aviation and the era of Pan Am's flying boats, for which the terminal was originally built for. It's an irreplaceable link to our shared aviation heritage and an architectural testament to American ingenuity, ambition, and global reach. After World War II, the Marine Air Terminal at LaGuardia Airport was the only international aerial gateway for the New York area until 1948, when Idlewild opened for business. Keeping the entire Marine Air Terminal intact, observation decks and all, as it was built in 1939, is, in our view, essential and matters to aviation history. After World War II, the Marine Air Terminal served every international flag airline that launched ongoing scheduled aerial service as the one and only scheduled way in and out of the world's greatest city. Marine Air Terminal was a USA connection to Europe. Airlines from around the world serving New York City and thus the United States of America operated via this tiny Art Deco jewel of a building. If the Port Authority carries out its plan, we risk losing another Pan Am terminal, another irreplaceable chapter in our national story. You remember the historic, iconic World Port that suffered the wrecking ball 12 years ago. This cannot happen in our view. Your press release makes your intent painfully clear. Save the center core and eliminate the remainder of the building. We view this as a threat to the very existence of the Marine Air Terminal. We voice our opposition to the Port Authority's plan to eliminate the Marine Air Terminal at LaGuardia Airport. We're not in favor of demolishing and rebuilding the 85-year-old tenement, preserving only the central rotunda. Would you please consider another look at the plans and find a compromise alternative that would preserve the entire footprint of this historical, national, and international landmark, and not just respect its status? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tom Kennedy.
I'm here. I don't have anything to add.
Brian Hunt.
Good evening. My name is Brian Hunt. I'm a steam fitter, local 638 business agent. I'm here to voice our support for the 10-year capital plan. We feel that it's more than just a spending proposal, but it's also a commitment to building safe, resilient, and modern infrastructure for the entire region, which, it comes along with, the standards of excellence that our, workforce provides, and something that we would always, are excited to be a part of. So we are definitely looking forward to all the improvements that are going to take place under this plan, and I look forward to being a part of it. Thank you.
Is anyone else interested in making comment? Can you just say your name as
Hi, Jeffrey Apollitter, Airport Voice, and also a member of the JFK Chamber of Commerce, which I believe is the only Chamber of Commerce in the country, in an airport. Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's great to see the commissioners here at JFK Airport. I don't remember reading in the plan, I did it quickly, if there's some plan to develop the North Cargo area. I know that there's been talk about doing this after the passenger area has been redeveloped. People, the board of the chamber, business people here at the airport, they provide all kinds of services, and they all basically revolve around cargo, which is a big deal. So if there's some kind of consideration or plan for that, we'd love to see that. Thank you very much.
someone will get back to you in answer to that question.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, thank you all for being here, and we look forward to continuing progress on this matter. Thank you. All right, folks, thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to continuing the discussion. Thank you.